Hey, it's Joel McDonald here with Just Get Out of Town. Just Get Out of Town. And I got an email from a subscriber. And rather than typing a really long response, I thought it would be better to just give an answer via video because this is a question that I get a lot. And it's probably something a lot of people debate. So I'm just going to share it with you. And Noam asks, and Noam's from San Francisco area, and he says, "Hi, Joel. I hope you're well. I have a question for you. I currently have 123,000 points on my Chase Sapphire card. I'm planning a week-long surf trip to El Salvador in April. The best flights I'm finding are for $850. I found the same flight for $57K on Chase Sapphire Travel Rewards. I'm somewhat hesitant to use those points for a much shorter trip. Totally agree. When I often travel for 3 to 4 weeks over a summer and usually with my wife. Can you help me know when or how is the best time to use these points?" So I'm going to give you a few answers. One is the answer that you were asking. And then I'm going to throw my unsolicited opinion in there too, since you asked. So my first thought is, let's just stick to that one thing. Assuming you have to go to El Salvador and it has to be at a specific time in April, you probably don't have a lot of options. You've still got a couple months to go. I would set up a fare watch for that specific time. I've done another video in the past about, and I'll include a link below in the comments to that video on how to set up a fare watch for a specific place at a specific time. But assuming you don't have flexibility, my personal philosophy is you either have flexibility or you don't. That's it. Two types of trips: flexible, non-flexible. If what you're describing to me is the scenario, that's a non-flexible trip. And if the best you're finding is 850, 57,000 points isn't bad. It's not the best. You could do better. You could see if you can do better than using the travel rewards portal and go to airfare. Oh gosh. Now I can't think of it. But there are sites. Fare Hacker is one of them. And there's another one that you could go to, or Reward Stock, which is a paid one. And you can enter your points and they will tell you what you can do. Sometimes there's a trick, like you can transfer to this destination. You might want to transfer to Air Canada and you can go for 25 or 30,000 points. And if, again, the key is if $850 is the best you can find, that is very expensive. And that's what points are for. They're there. My intended use of using airline miles is to bail me out of scenarios just like that. So rather than spending $850, spend $50 in taxes and redeem points. 57 is probably still expensive and you can do better with a little bit of research. So that's the quick answer to your problem. And that's assuming that you are non-flexible. Now, the other thought, and this is where the unsolicited advice comes in, the other thought is, can you be flexible? For example, you are a premium subscriber. And for anybody who's not a premium subscriber, I'm just going to show a little example. Here is the members area of Just Get Out of Town for the San Francisco territory. So you have two choices. You could look for warm beaches. If you're flexible, maybe you go in early May, maybe go in late March or whatever. You could look for beaches, and there are plenty of other places that you could take surf trips. The other option would be to look at the month of April. So, and we find trips, I wouldn't ever publish an $850 trip anywhere in Central, South, Caribbean, anywhere. So Belize, probably not great for surfing. Aruba, don't think so for surfing. Jamaica, Brazil, definitely. Panama, definitely. And all of those are far less expensive, and they all include lodging. So that's kind of option number 2, is if you can be non-flexible, or if you can be flexible, you can find a lot of other options. And that's the whole point of Just Get Out of Town. It's taking those flexible trips. Maybe you leave a little earlier, maybe you come back a little later, maybe you go somewhere entirely different, and you don't waste those hard-earned frequent flyer points on an only okay redemption. I typically try to redeem 50,000 points for at least $1,500, if not $2,500 in travel value. So I know that's not what you were asking for, but this comes up a lot, and I get a little bit opinionated about this. So my philosophy is there are only 2 types of travel: flexible, non-flexible. See that little yin and yang there? Your whole job whenever you take a trip is to try to be flexible and find that $350 flight to Panama, or when we do post El Salvador, they're usually in the 200s. But if you have to go at a specific time, that's why you're having to pay $850. But anytime you redeem points, it's going to allow you to not have to pay $850 or $1,300. My wife and I did that one time. We wanted to go to Hawaii, and fares were $1,300. So redeemed points and paid $22. So I like the question that you asked. You should be asking that every time you redeem points. And then the question is, A, do you have to redeem points? Because could you leave a little earlier? Could you go somewhere else? I don't know. And then B, if you can't do that, can you get maximum value out of that points? And 50,000 points, I agree, is a little bit expensive. I do think you can do better, but it's going to take research. And like I said, FareHacker, Award Ace, that's the other one, awardace.com. Those are 2 excellent resources where you just enter your home airport, enter your destination airport, and they'll tell you how you can best redeem the miles that you have. And a lot of times, I bet you would be willing to, or I bet you would be able to find much better than the 57,000 that you're finding. So I hope that helps. As a premium subscriber, you have access to a full report on when to use points, when not to use points, how to get more points so that you don't ever get stuck paying for that $850 flight. If you're not a premium subscriber, you can check it out for as little as $1. Let me show you how you can do that. Give me one sec. You can go to jgoot.com/upgrade. Try out my Trip Alert service for $1. You'll get full access to my point hacking guide. I will also say that if you want to just check out a quick and easy guide, go to jgoot.com/pointhacking101.pdf. I'll put those links in the comments area for you as well. But I hope that long-winded answer helped answer your short question about whether or not you should use points. I do think it's a good question. If the $850 is the best you can do, you probably should use points, because I would never, ever pay that much for a flight ever in my life again. But I do think that you can probably find that same flight for less points. So thanks for watching. I will talk to you later. Happy travels.